Good evening, YouTubers. This is Tech Sergeant Mackey, and I'm here in Conneaut Harbor, and we're looking at the iconic ship, the Roger Blough, that is currently sitting in Conneaut Harbor in long-term storage. Now, I had promised a viewer that I would do a more in-depth video on this when we got some better weather, and we currently have 46 degrees. We do have a little bit of a breeze, and hopefully that doesn't damage the audio too much. About 13 to 15 mile per hour winds. Down here in the harbor, the breeze is usually always a little amplified. So I want to say a little bit about this. This is the Roger Blough, which is a Great Lakes freighter, owned and operated by the Great Lakes Fleet, which is, its parent company is CN, which owns the docks and the railroads, which is why it's currently sitting here in Conneaut. Now, this is a beautiful, historic, iconic ship. It's one of my favorites on the Great Lakes, and unfortunately has been hit with tragedy. So I want to tell a little bit about this story with this ship. I did do another video on this last year, and I'm going to be doing it. This one will be much more in depth. So I'm going to say a little bit about this. The Roger Blough was launched into service in June of 1972. It was built at the American shipyard in Lorain, Ohio. So literally this is an Ohio ship. Okay. And this is a big one here. 858 feet long. And an unusual thing about this is it's 105 feet wide. Now, it is the only ship that is 105 foot wide that is not one of the 1,000 footers. And for Great Lakes ships, this is a bigger than average, as most of the Great Lakes ships are in the 600 to 750 range. And this one is bigger, and most of them are 75 feet wide. Now then you have the 13,000 footers that came into play in the late 70s and early 80s. So at one point, this was the giant on the Great Lakes. So it's named after the former U.S. Steel chairman. It was originally supposed to be launched in June of 1971, but tragedy struck it during its testing phase. There was a major engine fire, an explosion in the engine, which killed 4 people, tragically, and delayed its launching, causing major damage to the ship, and it took another year to get the repairs to it to go. So right off the start, it was hit with tragedy. Okay. It was also come to fame in 1975 when the Edmund Fitzgerald sank on November 10th, 1975. They called for all hands to come out and search for the Edmund Fitzgerald and survivors. On November 11th, 1975, the Roger Blough, while out searching, was able to find the only light raft of the Edmund Fitzgerald, a 25-person life raft it found, but it was empty. No survivors were ever found. No bodies ever resurfaced, tragically, with that incident. But this was one of the ships that was out searching for it. And then also, this ship has a long Conneaut connection, as this has been a ship that's done a lot of business here. But in 1979, on February 1st, 1979, this ship got stuck in the ice off of Conneaut Harbor. Now, for those of you who weren't around in the winters of 78 and 79, we had some very brutal winters here in the Great Lakes. There was a lot of snow, a lot of cold temperatures, and a lot of ice. Let's see, look at all the ducks that are moving there. I mean, that's literally making waves. Try to zoom in on that, because you can hear that. They're creating quite a stir. And there's a lot of wildlife that's down here in Conneaut Harbor. I mean, my gosh, they're making a commotion. So the ship was stuck out there on the ice for 8 days. It then had an absence from the Great Lakes from 1981 to 1987 due to the economic slowing from the Carter administration. The economy went down, and at the same time, Great Lakes Fleet started putting into service the 1,000-footers. And 13,000-footers came in to ship that had a much larger carrying capacity than this. This can carry 22,000 tons. It's mainly iron ore, but it also does limestone and coal and some other products there that it will carry. So it then continued its service in 1988 and had nothing much of bad to report until May 27th, 2016. While on Lake Superior, it ran aground in Whitefish Bay and got stuck on a reef. Now, when it ran aground, it caused some minor flooding, and it got stuck out there on that reef for a couple of weeks. They had to get the Philip R. Clark and the very famous Arthur M. Anderson to come over and take its load, and then that lightened it up so that it could then it could be towed by tugboat to Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, where it got repaired. So, sorry, I'm dropping stuff here. Okay. It then also had tragedy strike it again here, which is why it's currently sitting here. February 1st, 2021. Now, this is during the heart of the scamdemic, and the Roger Blough was put into winter storage early that year due to while we had a booming economy. When the scamdemic hit, it really slowed the economy down, and the Blough got put into storage early. And while there were many casualties from this, the Roger Blough could kind of be considered one of the casualties. Now, it was put into storage at Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, and it had when they're in storage, there's like 2 people assigned to keep track of the ship, and like one will they'll take turns staying on it. And they also had some major errors with stuff going on with this. So the engine caught fire. Now, it caught fire in the back over here. Try to zoom in on over where it caught fire. And the crewman that was on there was sleeping in the deck right back here. Now, the fire alarms didn't set off. There was a malfunction with them. And he only was able to figure that out when he's sleeping and was woke by the smoke. He then attempted to contact the other crewmate who didn't have his cell phone turned on. It was like a whole little incident there. Kind of a whole bunch of negligence that just happened. Now, due to its storage area in Sturgeon Bay, it was not easy for the fire crew to reach it. So it took a long time for them to get there and then to be able to get into position to put the fire out. Now, after the review was done by the National Transportation Security Board, they determined that there was multiple problems here that caused it. One of them was they did the constant removal and replacement of a burner element on the engine that caused it to malfunction. They also failed to install an alarm and a shutoff valve for the fuel. If they had this alarm in and this fuel, a fuel shutoff valve, it would have cut off the fire source real quick, and it would have been minor damage and much of nothing to know. But because they had kind of neglected doing that, and they didn't have the boiler and the engine to the code that it was supposed to, cutting corners, it allowed that fire to kind of ravage the ship. And you can read the report of this online if you want to look it up, and you don't have to take my word for it. And we do got a nice little breeze that's blowing here. It literally ripped the papers out of my hand. So that I had all my notes on there. So, but the ship, after they were able to get the fire out, do the evaluations and investigations on it. So then October 7th of 2022, they towed the ship from Whitefish, or from Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, by tugboat. They towed it here to Conneaut. Now, because this ship is owned basically by CN, they towed the ship here to where they would not have to pay for the storage, which is actually a pretty smart move on their part. Now, the estimates and the damage on the ship range from upwards of $100 million to $120 million. The company's website says that they have $20 million in place for repair on this ship. So they're, I guess right now, a little short, and due to the Biden administration's causing the economic slowdown in this nation, there's not been the need to push to have it repaired, and they are determining whether it's worth it or not, whether it will be scrapped. And if it is scrapped, it will be very sad, because this has been an iconic ship on the Great Lakes. So I reached out to CN, and surprisingly, they took my call. And they were very helpful. And I got to give some props to CN. Okay, they took my call down, and the person who was able to answer all of what's going on with the ship was already, I called there kind of late in the day, wasn't there, but they gave me the phone number and extension to contact them, and I'm going to contact them tomorrow. And hopefully I'll be able to get some information as to what they want to do. And I'm also going to request to be able to go on and tour the ship. I'm also, and they were very receptive to this too, so I explained to them I have the YouTube channel. I'm got to fill out a form to request permission to access their property, which they own an extensive amount of property, a lot of woodlands and Conneaut, along the Conneaut Creek, and going over into western Pennsylvania. And I'm asking for their permission to be able to walk and video on the land. So I got to show something else here. There is this is coming in. That looks like a C-130 aircraft that is most likely out of Youngstown. They commonly come up here. They're out of Vienna, the Vienna Air Force Reserve Base. And that's about as, I got it zoomed in all the way. They're out over Lake Erie right now. They will commonly come up here and fly, as they're it's less than 70 miles to the Air Force Base from here. And so they'll commonly come up and fly up here and fly over Lake Erie. But that's a cool catch to have. And especially me as being an Air Force person, I love seeing the Air Force's aircraft in the sky. And that's definitely my specialty, and knowing I know what they are and who they belong to. So, but as to the Roger Blough, I will be getting more information on this, and hopefully be able to work out to where I can get a tour of the ship. And we'll see what happens. The worst they can say is no, but you know what? I'm going to ask anyway. And then also having permission to walk and video on their lands too. So hopefully I will be able to do that, and I will report what they say as to my requests. I will actually they will probably do official requests in email. They may actually contact me here, but I will actually say their exactly what they put in the request, or what they put in my answers to my request. So I hope you like this. Shipping season for the Great Lakes is going to be starting soon. We had a mild winter and not much ice coverage on the Great Lakes, and the ships are going to be running a little bit earlier. They're anticipated to be up here later into this month, and then I will be bringing many of the videos of the ships that will be stopping in the Conneaut Harbor. Conneaut Harbor is a primary, as you can see right over there. That is the iron ore dock. You see they still have some left from last year, and on this side, that is the limestone piles. So the ships are constantly running in and out of here to drop the limestone off. They get on the CN Railroad and are taken to, most of the iron ore is taken down to Pittsburgh to the steel mills. And the limestone, actually, there's even semis that come in here to pick up loads to take other places. Some is shipped by rail car down to other places, down to Pittsburgh and then points beyond. And some ships will actually even come here and load up with the limestone to take it other places. So, all right, I will let you guys know what I find out from CN. And again, I got to say thank you to them right off the bat. They were very polite and quickly responded to me. Which I didn't think they would actually, I didn't think that would happen, but they did. And so hopefully I get some good news from that, and I will let you guys know here future on some updates. So this has been the report on the iconic ship, the Roger Blough. I do want to say thank you to some of my subscribers. Again, my four girls in Oklahoma have been very supportive to me, and I found like these Great Lakes ships. So I want to say hi to them, and that's Madeline, Adeline, Erica, and Kaylin. Say thank you to them. And I want to say thank you to some of the other ones, and thank you to Green Eyes, who recently subscribed, to Mike, who's also given me some good areas to go to, and to Wendy, who's been a big help to me as well. Thank you, all of you guys. Thank you for your support and watching the videos. I greatly appreciate you. Like, subscribe, and share. Pass this around. God bless you, and have a wonderful day.